Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Skip Happens, another episode of Skip Happens, the podcast where I dive into the stories and music of some of the most exciting artists out there. I'm your host, Skip Clark, and tonight we've got a real treat for you. Joining me are, get this, twin sisters, Kelly and Sarah. Is it Fink?
Yeah. It is.
I got it right? All right. You know, they've been making waves in Nashville country music scene for some time now. And they actually made the big move to Nashville. If I'm not mistaken, this is what it said in the bio. It was 2020. Is that right? I want y'all to say hi to, there's Kelly. Kelly on right in the blue. Okay. All right. This is going to be tough all night. It's like, wow. You're like identical twins.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. But you're both doing music and all that together. So that's kind of cool. So Kelly and Sarah, where are you from? You moved to Nashville in 2020, but where from?
We are originally from a small town in Illinois, in the cornfields of Illinois.
Oh.
Grew up in a town called El Paso, and they have 2,500 people who live in that town.
Really?
Right in the middle of Illinois.
You know, I think of El Paso. I'm thinking exactly. I didn't even realize there's a town El Paso in Illinois.
I know. It's just you don't think that there's another El Paso out there in the United States, but there is, and it's got 2,500 people in it.
So everybody knows everybody.
Yes. We know everything about everybody.
Yes, I love it.
That could be good. That could be bad.
Oh yeah.
So real quickly before we get into everything about you guys and the music, if I were to take a drive in El Paso and come in the main drag, what would be the first thing I'd see?
Well, so you're
big American flag.
That's right. We do
love that.
My dad says we have the biggest American flag in all of Illinois.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of interesting. As you're driving down the interstate, that's our thing.
No, but that's cool.
It is. I think it's really cool. It's something you can see from miles and miles away.
Yeah.
Not a grocery store, not a bar on the corner, gas station. It's the American flag.
Yeah.
We are pretty proud of our grocery stores and gas stations, though.
Yes.
We just went back home a couple weeks ago, and we were introduced to all of the new things that we're doing in El Paso. For example, we upgraded our grocery store, and we're all excited about it.
And our Dollar General relocated to a bigger building as well.
Yeah. Kelly and I were just
moving
like,
up.
wow.
Good job, El Paso.
Yeah, and it's just a grocery store, and we're still so excited.
Well, yeah, those big things in a little town. It's big happening. Everybody talks about it. It's cool. But we want to talk about you, both of you. You two have been making a name for yourselves in Nashville. You said you moved there in 2020. What was the moment you realized that you can make this a full-time career?
Ooh, so we moved to Nashville in 2020, and we both had to get day jobs, in order to survive.
Because nothing was open.
Yeah, so we had to do a lot of networking as well. So I got a day job at a doctor's office, and I worked as a front desk assistant, and I took phone calls and pretty much did the secretary thing for, what was it, like 3 years? 3 years.
I have a question. Were you the one that would ask, do you have an updated insurance card?
Yes, that was me.
And any guy that came in would go,
That's my wife.
Yeah, my wife's got it. I have no idea.
Yes.
I have no idea. Am I right? I'm right by saying that. But all the ladies have it right. Yep, I got mine right here. Here you go.
Right in my purse here.
I love it. Yeah.
So then, let's see, we fast forward to 2023, and we've picked up a few main steady gigs downtown in Nashville. Like, for example, we worked, first bar we ever sang at was Old Red. So that place has a really special place in our hearts.
Yes.
Then we picked up a few others downtown, the Stage on Broadway, Second Fiddle, and Legends Corner, and now Teddy's Tavern. We've gotten some steady gigs at those places. So now, since we're working there and getting enough money to survive, I was able to quit my day job in 2023, in October of 2023. I put in my 2 weeks, and it was really hard. I was really scary because I thought to myself, this could be a mistake. But so far so good. It's been a year, and a couple months, and we're still going strong. And I know it was a different story for Kelly. She has
Yeah.
a lot going
I
on.
know, but it's real quick though. It's scary to make a move when you don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Yes.
But if you don't make that move, you'll never know either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and music is your passion,
Yes.
and you're dedicated to your craft.
Yeah.
So,
A lot
where
of
there's
risk.
a will, there's a way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ellie, what about you?
Oh, I started out working at a warehouse until we started playing at All Red, and eventually the warehouse job. It was just so.
It was in the way.
It was in the way. There was really no wiggle room to call off a day just to go to a show, so I had to stop that. And I found another place to work called Amazon Flex, which is basically
Okay.
just like Uber, but instead of hauling passengers, you haul a bunch of packages and you bring them to people's houses with your own personal vehicle. You get to pick your own hours and you're making your own schedule, and it was
That's
really
cool.
convenient. So when we started picking up more and more gigs, I was able to block off time of the Amazon Flex and then just work whenever I could and had time to do so. So I was working a lot
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
single day. I didn't really have any days off because,
No.
and neither did you.
No, it was just full steam ahead. We didn't really have much of a social life
No.
in 2023.
Yeah, so we did like 2 years of just hard work all the time, and finally the hard work paid off where eventually those jobs, like I would be part-time Amazon Flex, part-time music, but eventually the Amazon Flex would get in the way because we'd be getting so many gigs.
Which is
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna stop Amazon Flex now. And so I'm almost up to a year of quitting Amazon Flex.
Oh yeah.
But
Wow.
it has
it was
been.
hard, and I'm like, you know what? I can always go back to Amazon Flex, so it wasn't
Yeah.
as big of a leap as it was for Sarah.
Yeah, and I loved my day job too, so it was kind of hard to quit, but I knew that was the risk that we had to make, and we jumped right off and we did it. And I think it was a good decision so
So
far.
far, so good.
Yeah, I think so from everything I've read and what I've heard. And we're going to hear a little bit of that in just a little bit. But yeah, I think it's the right decision. But like you say, with Amazon Flux, you got something to fall back on if you have
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
whatever reason, if you have to. But
Yeah.
man, you must be putting a lot of miles on the car. Or truck.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot about car maintenance. My dad was a mechanic, so he always would do everything car related. And then when we moved to Nashville, I was like, you know what? Cars are expensive when you don't
Yeah.
have a mechanic dad.
That's-
But I learned how
Right
to
around
do
the
a bunch
corner.
of things. Like I know how to change my oil. I know
There you
how
go.
to fix the engine light if it comes on. I rig it up a little
I
bit.
don't even know how to do that.
I always have some tools in the car just in case. But
It's cool. Well, I'm sure your dad set you up pretty good, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
him being a mechanic said, okay, if you're going to move away, I got to make sure you have all these tools with you as well.
I
Yeah.
have a whole note in my phone that says how to take care of your car and all the things we have to do.
But yeah, I definitely put a lot of miles on my car, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't
Time
know.
for a new car.
Yes.
I love it. I know. What do you drive? Can I ask?
Right now, just a Chrysler 200.
Yeah. All right. Well, just so yeah, it's something. How many miles are on it?
Right now, 177,000.
What?
I always know how many miles are on the car.
But you take care of it though. So if you
Yes,
take care
I
of a
do.
vehicle,
Exactly.
it's fine. It's going to take care of you as well. So.
Yes,
Yes.
it's pretty happy, I think.
Just chugging along.
Yeah,
Chugging along, chugging along. It gets you down on Broadway. It gets you
Yeah.
where you need to go.
exactly.
And that's
I
only like
agree.
10 miles away from us.
Yeah.
So.
Really. I was going to ask what part of Nashville you actually live in. I have friends out there. So it's just-
Yeah, like the Hermitage area.
Donaldson,
yeah.
right
Okay.
on the edge of
Mhm.
like Donaldson and
yeah.
Nashville.
Oh, okay. No, exactly. Yeah. Pretty cool. Of course, I can never say Demembrion. Demember.
Yeah,
Don't
what is
ask
that
me.
Demumbrian.
How do you say it?
Yeah, Demumbrian.
I say every time I hit Nashville, of course, coming from the airport, that's where I get off and then we go down. But yeah, it's like there's that Demon Borough.
Weird. Yeah.
It's crazy. I want to talk a little bit more about you guys as sisters and what's it like and to work and perform as identical twins. What's that like?
It's fun.
a really good marketing strategy.
Yeah.
For us.
I think it is. Yes.
Creates a brand. Like not everybody is a twin. So we're able to say that's something different about us. That's what we bring to the stage that people are going to remember. And so, and there's always someone to work with, and I can always rely on Sarah, and I know that she's always going to do her best. And you can't always say that with people that you don't really know very well. Like if we're working with a new player, they might not always give their best, but I know for a fact that Sarah will.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have a business partner that I can put all my trust in.
A good work ethic, and also just like family harmonies are.
I was going to talk about your harmonies. Yeah.
A whole different thing. And I like the feeling of harmonies, especially when you can blend the way that siblings can blend. And I think that's one way that we can market ourselves as well as twins. We have that twin sister harmony, and we always use it.
Well, it shows, and we'll find out here in just a little bit. But I also wrote down that you faced some challenges because how you present yourselves on stage. What is that about?
Okay, so when
Anything that starts with okay, it's like okay, I'm ready.
Well, it's not even that much of difference, but for on stage, there are some weaknesses that I have, and Kelly has strengths and weaknesses as well. But the cool thing is we kind of even each other out. So for Kelly's strengths, she's really good at vocal agility, which just means that she can switch from note to note really quickly and make it sound like really cool. And I can't do that as well. And it's hard for me to admit that I'm not good at that.
And I know that Sarah has a better at endurance. Like she can sing, I feel like she can sing a lot all the time. Like she can go days and days and not even feel fatigued or even sound fatigued. And for some reason that's not the case with me, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I know, but at least we can admit that we have some weaknesses, and the good news is we've got a partner who
Help
can
me out.
fill in those.
So basically what you're saying, where one kind of doesn't have it, the other one has it, and vice versa. It goes either way. So that's excellent. That's cool. And do you, and Sarah, I have to ask, do you, because you sing all the time, do you sing in the shower?
I warm up in the shower.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and Kelly, do you ever go like, all right, can you just knock it off for a little bit?
Oh yeah,
Maybe
she does. We'll be in the car. I'll just be singing my own thing, and she'll turn up the radio.
Well, it's just
she's tired of hearing me. No, I'm just kidding.
But you turn up the radio.
So I can sing along.
Yeah,
all right,
now we
so
just
you
sing
can sing
louder.
along. But how about your songs being played on the radio?
Oh yeah.
I cannot even believe that we can say that our songs have been playing on the radio.
I know.
I
think
cool.
That was like one of the biggest goals that I had when we first started. Like I just wanted to have a song play on the radio.
Yeah. So it started with Midwestern Tornado. That one was played on a radio in Kentucky for the first time. But then with Well Whiskey, it just really, really took off. I think we played on 40 different stations
At least,
so far. And it's been amazing that we can say that.
Yeah, and then we've even had some songs air in Europe.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm going to talk about that
too.
Yeah.
So how did that come about being aired in Europe? How is it C2C, or have you had the chance to go there and perform?
No, we've never performed overseas. It is a goal.
Yes,
it is, and I can see it happening. Okay,
but our songs first played overseas when Sobro Radio reached out to us and said, "Hey, like we love your sound, and we want to play your songs on the radio here. Can you send them over to us, and we'll play them?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So that's how they first started playing overseas. I think we've had a few spins on our others.
Yeah, I think there was like one in Canada and Australia
and Brazil too, right? Or was that just
no kidding?
Yeah, we're really trying to keep track of all these things.
It's not
not easy.
Yeah,
but it's exciting once you find out, or you get a letter from somebody, or somebody writes and said, "Hey, I heard your single." You know, especially Well Whiskey.
Yeah. That one is really working for us, and it's really exciting to say that.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the what's behind that. Tell us a little bit about Well Whiskey and who wrote it. You guys wrote it, I would assume, and let's take it from there.
All right, here's from the beginning. So I think maybe a year and a half ago, I wrote the chorus to Well Whiskey, and I was having a really long writer's block. So I'm like, I gotta just keep writing songs, whether they're good or bad. I just gotta keep writing them.
Well,
And
and your writer's block, it didn't really mean that you were writing bad songs. You were just writing things and not completing them.
yes.
So you thought they were just failures. They were not.
No, but isn't that it's pretty common to maybe
Mhm.
you're not writing, but you you think of something and you speak to your phone so it records it, or
Yeah.
you make note of it somehow, and later on you'll come back to it. You say,
Yeah.
you know what, I wrote that down. I've got it. I've got it. So
Yeah, and it was kind of
yeah,
like that. I
yeah.
wrote the chorus to Well Whiskey, and then I didn't like it, so I kind of just put it in my junk drawer. And then one day we kind of both took out some junk songs and just kind of like made fun of ourselves. But then I pulled out Well Whiskey and I showed it to Sarah, and she's like, "That's actually good. We
should
gotta
work
do
on
something
that."
to that." So I was like, "Okay, so help me, help me write the verses, help me write the bridge, help me fix the chorus to give me some chords." So we finally sat down at Sarah's piano. We put something together, and we made it what it is now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I think I just thought of writing the song Well Whiskey because that's my favorite drink.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, well, whiskey is the cheaper whiskey.
Exactly. So you can buy more of it and you
Yeah,
could tip your bartender more and
my
have
way
like
of
a
thinking, girl. I'm just
reputation.
saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like why don't I write about it? And then it turned in.
Yeah, and we started playing it live and got
Mhm.
some really great feedback. We were like, "Whoa, other people like this song too."
Yeah.
But then we sent it off to some songwriting professionals, and they said, "That's kind of a
It was a good
failure."
idea, but start
What?
over.
Yeah, so for a while after that happened, we kind of set it to the side and we said, "We're just not even going to record that song. We're
Mhm.
just going to never sing it again."
Yeah.
But thankfully, we have friends.
Yes, because I know that the reasoning behind them was it's not necessarily up to commercial standards if you really dive deep into it, but when you do it live, it doesn't really come across as not necessarily being commercial, if that makes sense. It comes across being commercial when you play it live. I don't know if that makes any
No,
sense.
no, no. I understand what you're saying. I get it. And a matter of fact, it sounds a little bit like this.
Well, whiskey got me up and down and stumbling around. I got it from the well, don't need the top shelf. Yeah, you can call me cheap, but that won't bother me. I got a tap above for me. That
Wow.
well whiskey.
See, I love
Well,
that.
whiskey's
I'll be quiet.
whispering my name, giving shivers like you did the same way. Now I know I shouldn't shoot her straight, but I remember that another day. Cause you did me wrong, now I shouldn't take long till I forget him and be on my way. Well, whiskey got me up and down and stumbling around. I got it from the well, don't need the top shelf. Yeah, you can call me cheap, but that won't bother me. I got a tap above for me. That well whiskey.
Wow, wow, wow. Who's got the lead on that? Is it you, Kelly, or Sarah?
Well, we both share the lead.
Yeah, okay. All right. I mean, I hear the harmonies and I hear you both, but then there's a part of it where it's more one than the other.
Yeah, I take most of the lead. I do the lead for the choruses, and then I sing verse two and half of the bridge. So Sarah leads the first verse and the first part of the bridge. Yeah.
That sounds like to see that live, the
Mhm.
full band, I
Mhm.
can only imagine it's got to be pretty wild.
It's
Oh, yeah.
so fun.
A lot of fun. And the crowd always is really engaged and excited at the end.
Yeah.
Because they're drinking that well whiskey.
Exactly.
Hey, they're singing about us. But no, no, seriously though. See that's the music I think we need that. We
Yeah.
need the upbeat. We need the fun.
Yeah.
And you ladies are giving it to radio and to our listeners, which is pretty cool. Now, even back it up a little bit further, how long have you guys been playing music?
Well, we've been singing for our entire life, but when we got to college, that's when we really dove into perfecting our vocal technique
Mhm.
and songwriting. We really didn't start writing seriously until college. And then we've been playing piano since we were about 6 years old.
Okay.
That's like our background in music. But then in 2021, that's when you picked up the
Yeah.
guitar.
I think it was actually during 2020 because
That's right.
things shut down. I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I guess I'll just pick up the guitar.
I'll
'cause-
go to YouTube and learn how to play a guitar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Figured
then
if I'm gonna move to Nashville, I better start learning how to play guitar.
2022 is when I picked up the guitar, and we've been just pretty much teaching ourselves how to play the guitar for just a few years.
Yeah.
And is it hard to learn?
Yes.
Doing it
It's
by
hard for me
yourself?
to learn.
It is mostly because, like, as a piano player, you're used to
You
like
can
making
see
your
all the notes.
and you're used to making your fingers do certain things. So then when you pick up a different instrument and you have to have your hands do different things,
You're getting blisters.
oh my goodness, like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
blisters on the fingertips made me want to quit. But I stuck to it. I went through the pain, and now we can play a
You
little
get
bit.
calluses like on your
Yeah.
fingers, correct? Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
got a lot of friends that play guitar and they'll play night after night after night. And then you see their hands, you go, dude, that's
Yeah.
gotta suck.
Yeah.
Gotta hurt.
It does. I mean, it kind of
Yeah.
feels.
Especially, ladies, I mean, the skin is I get it. I get it. Sometimes you get a guy and he's got pretty tough hands. But
Or
Yeah.
delicate.
delicate. You're delicate.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're doing things better than a lot of guys. I can tell you that right now. Hey, so I also have here, growing up, you went through some pretty intense medical challenges. What was that experience like for both of you? And how did that shape who you are today?
So back when I was born and Kelly was born, we were born at the same time.
Is there like a minute between you or anything like that?
I was born first and Kelly was born second, 1 minute later. But I was born and my lungs had collapsed. So
no.
even though I was born first, Kelly got to go home first. And I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks because of my lungs collapsing. And I could have not been here today.
True.
Thankfully, I am breathing and singing with my lungs, which I think is kind of cool. that
Crazy. Yeah.
I can sing
You
with the
start
lungs
off
that
with-
were collapsed. They didn't work at first, but now they work pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah, so everything's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues after that, thankfully. I'm just happy that I could be Kelly's twin sister.
Yeah.
And we can be here together.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, do you guys always get along like you're getting along here?
No.
I didn't think so. I just thank you for being honest because I have daughters, probably pretty close to your age. I know how that is in the house. And
it works
somebody
though.
takes somebody's top or somebody wears somebody else's jeans or hey, those are my shoes. I'm
like,
just
I don't
saying.
know how we can just fight over the silliest things, but we
Yeah.
do. We're like an old married couple.
I believe it.
We still
Wow.
love each other though, no matter
No,
what.
absolutely. And you moved. What gets me is you moved to Nashville in 2020. That was the pandemic.
Yeah.
And why did you go before the pandemic or were you there?
Right smack dab in the middle.
All right, I have a
we
big question.
graduated.
One word. Why?
That's a good question.
Well, we graduated in 2020, and I had always planned to go to Nashville anyway,
Mhm.
and
Right after
we didn't have a
graduation.
job anyways,
Oh,
and so we
true.
really didn't. We weren't.
We didn't have a reason to stay in Illinois.
Yeah.
And we said, well, if we're gonna do this, we might as well do it now because
Get
we're
our feet
always
wet.
gonna have an excuse. Well, this is not the right time.
Yeah.
But we're like, let's just do it. We'll go down there and at least make some connections and
Yeah.
Find a place to live. and-
find out the layout of Nashville because we didn't know anything about Nashville. We didn't even know where downtown was.
Had
So-
you ever been to Nashville before you made that trip?
We
A
did.
couple times.
Yeah, we came to Nashville in high school
Okay.
for a show choir, which is singing and dancing. It's a singing and dancing group in high
Mhm.
school. And we went to the Opry, the Grand Ole Opry, and we sang and danced on that stage. Kelly and I shared that circle together.
Yeah,
So we
but-
were able to do that. But we weren't old enough really to go and enjoy
and
the
Nashville
bars.
is a city, is a big city that we're not used to.
It's
So
very scary.
Yeah,
Come-
it's even bigger now. It gets bigger every
Oh.
single
Yeah.
day. And no offense, I know you play on Broadway a lot, and there's so many different bars, places to go now. But I'd like to get out of town.
Yeah.
I'll go to like the Station Inn,
yes,
places
Yeah,
like that.
yes.
Those are
Because
so-
a funny story is, I think just a couple of years ago, my wife and I flew out to go to the NASCAR race in Nashville,
Oh.
and we went to the race and did all that. Then we went back to the hotel and I said, come on, honey, let's take a walk. Let's go down on Broadway and see what's going on. I've been there quite often. She has not. So we get down there. There were so many people.
Oh,
The road
yeah.
was closed off. There were so many bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
There were so many. There were things going on the corner that you don't want to talk about.
Right.
There were fights. It's like, all right, honey, I'm sorry. Nope. We're going to go back to the hotel. We'll hang out at the bar.
Yeah.
I will have to say that the party time is probably late at night. And if you want to go and enjoy some nice music, go at 10 o'clock in the morning until about 6 o'clock. And then
You took the words right out of my mouth.
probably time to
Yes,
go.
if we do that again, we'll go over like 10 or 11, walk Broadway. It won't be as crowded. There's
Yeah.
music going. You and I both know, and anybody that's been there knows that's nonstop music all day. So it doesn't matter what time of the day you go. You're
Nope.
gonna hear it. So, yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. So when you work these places on Broadway, were you working for tips only?
No, there's a little bit of a base pay, but
Okay.
the base pay is just enough to help you rather than depend
Survive.
on.
Yeah.
So they give you enough so that you are mostly depending on the tips that you can make.
Mhm.
So it's hard, especially slow season, which slow season for musicians and even bartenders on Broadway is between late December until early March. That's when tourists, they really don't have a reason to come to Nashville because it's cold and
I see.
icy and it's not summertime.
No holiday.
So people don't really come, and so we're kind of, when no one's there, we're
Playing to nobody
struggling,
sometimes.
and we're not making much tips, which is kind of hard in the wintertime.
What was when you did make the move? What was the most difficult thing for you making that transition?
I would have to say,
Traffic.
yeah, just really finding a place to live.
It's a lot more than 2,500 people.
Yeah.
I will say though, moving in 2020 kind of made it a little bit easier for us to transition because there was really no one on the road because all the things were shut down and only some places were allowing people to drive to work.
Mhm.
So that was kind of a blessing in disguise because I think that if we would have moved at any time other than 2020 or 2021, we probably would not have stayed because of that's how bad the traffic is in Nashville. And Kelly and I, we just don't do it. We don't like traffic. We can't. That's not how we grew up.
How would you, being, the twins and Sarah and Kelly, you depend on each other probably quite a bit. Can I
Yes.
say that? Is that
Yeah.
fair? Yeah. It's just awesome. I see you're both like best friends there. And I mean, but maybe when the camera goes off, you're going to be arguing over the ice cream what's left. Or no, that was my soda. That was my Gatorade. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Let's have a little bit of fun. If you could pick a theme song for your lives, what would it be and why? What would be your theme song?
Oh, I know. It would probably be Sisters from White Christmas.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't
Oh
know
my
if you're
gosh.
familiar with that one, but
One thing I always ask artists like yourself is what's the best advice that you've ever been given?
there's a lot of advice.
Yeah.
Good,
Um,
bad, indifferent?
I think one thing that kind of stuck with me is don't do music unless, don't do it because you love it. Is that what it was?
I think it's don't do it just because you like to do it.
Yeah.
Do it as a business because if you're not going to try and make money doing music, then you're not going to.
Yeah. And you have to be okay with not liking some parts of doing music. Like there's going to be hard parts and you have to be prepared to not like doing music sometimes. Because I love to do music, but there are just some days where I'm like, this is hard.
We want to quit. Don't do it.
Yeah. So don't do it because
Mhm.
just because you love it. Do it because it's going to be a business.
Yeah, I guess for me, I got some advice that was say yes to everything, and I really don't agree
Yeah.
with that type of advice because I think it's okay to say no to opportunities that may not help your business. It's okay to say no to things that might jeopardize
Mhm,
your
mhm.
business.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say no to gigs that may not pay what you need to be paid.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of an interesting advice that I got. It's not good advice,
No,
but
I agree with you, Sarah,
yeah.
100%, because I know I had to think for a minute. It's going, okay, who's who? Um, but no, I totally agree with you, because you can't say yes to everything. Only you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Only you know what you want to do. Only you. Don't let somebody say just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might
Just
regret
put
that.
yourself in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
How well do you handle criticism? I have a tough time handling criticism.
I think we have a tough time. I think whenever we do get criticism, we have to talk to each other
Yeah.
about it
Mhm,
and be like,
mhm.
okay, well, this is why they said it. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're terrible. They said one thing that's going to help you.
Yes.
It's not, they're not trying to break you down. Even if they are trying to break you down, take it and
Learn from it.
learn from it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if worse comes to worse, we just call our mom and
Yeah.
make us feel better.
Yeah.
Mom, we want to come home.
Yeah. Even though we don't take criticism well,
Yeah.
we get through it.
Yeah.
You
And
do.
it's necessary
How often do you do you talk to mom or dad?
All the time.
all the time.
Do
Probably.
you?
We probably call
Almost
my
every day.
mom, yeah, every other day. We talked to her just before we got onto this podcast,
Ah,
actually.
Nice. Nice. Now, do you have siblings besides just
We
you?
do. We have 2 older siblings. They are half siblings, so they're
Okay.
20 years older than us.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
quite the age gap. We've got an older brother
I get
and
it.
an older sister.
Mhm. Now, do they visit?
My sister, she will visit probably every other year
Yeah.
and bring her kids, and they just have a blast here in Music City.
Yeah.
I love it. If you could perform I have my questions here. If you normally I just wing this like I told you. But I'm concentrating on too much who's who. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, where
Mm.
would it be? Where would you love to go?
We thought about this yesterday, and I think the place that we really want to perform is the Ryman, which is in Nashville. It's the Mother Church, is what they
Mhm,
call it.
mhm.
Also,
And
the Rock.
Red Rocks. In
Oh, Red Rocks, beautiful,
I
beautiful.
would love to, just because I'm sure the acoustics are fantastic, and I would just
And the
cry
view.
Yeah,
if I heard what we could do there. But the
exactly.
Ryman, like we went and saw some artists perform at the Ryman, and it was just a great experience. So that's why I would just love to perform there.
Yeah.
Now, have you had the opportunity to take in the country music, country radio seminar at all? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, we haven't yet. We were hoping
I'll
to.
see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from like what, February 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
believe we have gigs on every single one
Yeah.
of those days.
But you're down on Broadway.
Yeah, that is true. So we
We
could.
also have Indiana too.
Oh
one of those days. It's just
See, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Well, you got the gigs. Going to the seminar doesn't pay the bills.
No. But it's still
Man.
something that we really want to do. I
Yeah.
wanted to do it last year, but I don't know why we couldn't do it last year either. But I don't know. It's one of our
I'm-
things that we
No,
will
I
do.
get it. I totally get it. What's that?
It's one thing that we will do, whether it's not this
Yeah.
year, we'll do it next year, or what we're going to.
I just think it's a big plus, though, for artists. If you're not out performing, it's a big plus for especially artists like yourselves that
yeah.
you can go down and meet a lot of these people. Anybody and everybody is there for
Yeah.
all different levels, which is pretty
Great.
cool. You get some great advice, you network, you know,
Yeah.
all the good stuff. So, all the good stuff. So, what is a day like in the life of Kelly and Sarah? I mean, do you get up? Do you go work out? What do you do? You know, what's your day like?
We think about working out every day.
We think
but-
about it. That's as far as we get.
Well, I think what we do for our workout
You don't
is
have
we
a
do
Peloton there in the living room? Come on.
I wish.
we do a lot of dancing. That's
Yeah.
our workout.
Every weekend
I-
we like to go dancing if we can.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But I guess for a regular day, if we were going to do a gig on what day do you want to do? It's always different every
Thursday
day.
or something.
We would, if we had, I would say we should do a Friday. If we were going to get up on a Friday, we would get up early, which I mean, early to me is 9 o'clock in the morning. But no, we would get up at 8 and we would head downtown to our gig at the stage on Broadway. It would start at 10, and then we would perform until 2:15. Then we would get off and grab some lunch, probably at the Broadway Brew House.
Yeah.
Which is a great.
Good place. Yes.
We like to go there because it's like kind of chill. It's not loud. We just got done doing loud live music. Let's like take a break with our ears and have something good to eat. And there's also a discount for performers.
Musicians, yeah.
So then after that, sometimes we'll have a gig out of town, or we'll have one in town, whether it be at Old Red, or we would sometimes drive out to one of the surrounding towns. We'd even go up to Kentucky sometimes. I think we're going up to Kentucky after our gig on Friday in a couple weeks, going up to a casino. So our Fridays are usually really busy because we like to get just a couple gigs on that day because it's the weekend. That's when people go out. That's when people are listening to live music. So we'd go out, take our sound equipment most of the time if we're going to go out of town. And we'd set up our sound and we would play another 4-hour show, whether it is acoustic with Kelly and me and our guitar, or if it's full band with drums, bass, and a guitar and us. Then after that, we would probably either drive back home that same night, or we would stay in a hotel and then drive back the next day. We like to always get a gig on a Saturday as well, because like Fridays, that's when people want to go out and listen to some live music.
Yeah, I will say our days that we don't have gigs are a lot different.
Oh yeah,
but I mean we're still always doing business work. Like
It never
off,
ends.
it's not a day off.
Yeah. Our days off, they start with looking at emails,
looking at statistics on like how Spotify is doing, or Apple Music, or really anything, or
posting on social media
posts.
Just a
Maybe
lot of
writing a
busy work.
song.
Oh yeah, writing a song. I also just this is how I like to start my day. I like to get up, do some Bible time, really gets my head in the right spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how I start my mornings, and then at night we get some hot tea.
Yes, I love
And
tea.
we watch an episode or two on Netflix.
To just
Oh,
chill
so
down.
What have you been watching on Netflix?
For some reason, what we've been watching lately has been Body Cam, which is
Okay.
on Discovery. It's about police officers who have body cameras.
You see their point of view, really.
And how the craziness that they have to deal with, which I'm like, whoa, I didn't know they had to deal with all that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like you
It's
get a
really
lot of
entertaining.
respect for
Yeah.
police officers.
No, you do when you watch those shows, and it's reality television pretty much.
Yeah.
You see a whole different angle,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you
There's
hear
just
a whole different angle.
Yeah. That's our show right now. We've been binge watching it.
Yeah, no, that's that's the way it's going. Netflix, baby. I know my wife is into. I don't know what it is, but it's like every night it's on. So
Oh.
one after the other, after the other.
Yeah.
But tell me about the birthday, the Grand Ole Opry Plaza, the 99th birthday. You guys performed at that.
And that was just a really cool thing, because I think most of the time you don't get asked to play at an Opry event. But we were asked to bring our own original songs and some cover songs to the Opry Plaza's birthday, the 99th celebration out there on the plaza.
Yep.
There were people there, and it was just, it was amazing to be able to say that we played our own original songs at the Opry Plaza.
Exactly.
For the
And there were people there. I like that you said there were people there. Of course, there were people there. I mean, especially if you guys are playing. Do you just go by like Sarah and Kelly, or Kelly and Sarah? Is that all you? Is that's what you go by?
Right now, that's what we go by, Kelly and Sarah. I think we may change the name once we get a set band, or maybe a label if it comes to that. We're thinking about going with the Sutherland Twins, or just the Sutherlands?
Just the Sutherlands.
The Sutherlands.
Yeah, that was our
That's a country name. I like that.
no, and I liked it because
The reason
it was
behind
I think our great grandmother's maiden name.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. I'm like, I like it.
I like
That's
the
how we
sound
can,
of it.
Yeah, and what a way to pay tribute to your
Exactly.
great grandma.
Yeah.
How cool
And
is that?
we actually just wrote a song about that side of the family too.
Mhm.
It's not out yet, but it will be on our CD. It's called
love
Three
it.
Sheets
Oh.
of Wind, if you want to.
All right, tell us about the CD. There you
Oh
go.
yeah. So here it is. We got
Oh,
it.
you just happen to have one next to you.
Yes. Do you
That's
know what that
cool.
is?
It's supposed
Now,
to look
Are all the
earlier.
tracks online?
Just about.
We've
Okay.
got three. Well, let me see. How many do we have out there? We got eight that you can download off of our website. Then we have 7 that are out on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube and anywhere that you listen to music. But then on the CD, we're going to have 10 songs on there. 2 of the songs we are finishing up in the studio right now. And then the other song is ready to be sent out into the world. We just have to wait on that for a minute.
Cool.
But this is the CD, and it
I
is
know,
up.
it's so convenient that you had it right there. That is so cool. I like the what's the art on it? It's hard to tell. But
It's supposed to look like you're looking down at a glass of whiskey with ice in it.
Yep.
now I see that.
Yeah, because the album
Yes.
is all whiskey.
No, absolutely. That's cool. That's cool. So
And
can
we
they,
can-
if somebody wanted to, well, that's your CD. I guess it's not really available yet.
Right,
Is
but
it?
you can pre-order it. You can
Okay.
pre-order it off of our website, kellysaramusic.com.
Okay. Perfect. You fell right into it. Pretty cool. So yeah, and so your socials,
Mhm.
that's a lot of work. You guys do all that yourself.
We do, and especially at the beginning, it didn't come natural for
Mhm.
us. We actually had to hire a social media consultant to help us out for the first couple months,
Mhm.
and we learned a lot from it. So now we're able to do it ourselves. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how much work it actually takes to be consistent with social media. Thankfully, there's 2 of us.
Yeah, I definitely understand how people do it as a career because
Mhm.
it is a lot.
It's a
It is a
full-time
lot. That's
career.
why I was asking.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we split it. Kelly takes a load and I take the other load. I work mostly with making the posts and the reels and the captions and stories.
Mhm.
And Kelly works on commenting and messaging people and
Ads.
working on ads. And I know that
Ads
I know
and
nothing
more ads.
more. So we split it. I think we split the load pretty
So
evenly.
that must mean you're pretty good with like the graphics and all that too.
Well, we're getting familiar.
Yeah.
Use I don't know what you use, but I know a lot of this, yeah, a lot of things I do. I dive into Canva. I
Yeah.
love Canva. I have a pro account and I'm able to, that does everything you want it to do and it makes it pretty easy. So,
Yes. I'm definitely going to start using that a little bit more. I think we just got a subscription for it
That's right.
last week. So
yep. Yep. Very cool. What do you if you were to give other female artists a bit of advice, because it's been unfortunate, I hate this, that the the men kind of dominate the chart.
Mhm.
And now we're seeing a lot more females come on board.
Yeah.
But what advice could you give female artists? They want to be like you. They want to get on the radio. What advice would you give them as a female?
I would say, and then you can go, I would say work on your performance. A lot of female artists get up on the stage and assume that their voice can carry them
Mm,
as far as they think that they can go, but you have to be exciting to watch. And I wouldn't put too much into the way you dress because I know that a lot of people, especially on Broadway, will dress kind of seductively. And I don't think that that's necessary because you kind of want your voice to shine and
mhm.
not take what you're wearing away from that.
Yeah.
But be entertaining to watch on stage, move around, interact with the other people on the stage, interact with your audience.
Look like you're having fun.
Yes.
Mhm.
I
Look
think
like
that's
you're having fun. You are having fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
have fun on
Yeah.
stage.
I'll tell you a story. It's funny that you say that. Doing what I do, my radio side of things, and we have the artists come through on a radio tour. And especially before COVID, it was like every week we'd have a different artist come by. These 2 young ladies showed up. I won't mention names, but they showed up like they had like all it was a bikini. All it was, I mean, they had a skimpy top, skimpy shorts and all this, the belly, the piercings and all that. It's like, all right, wait a minute. Why are you doing? I actually said something to the label. I said, it's great that you sent these people to me, but if it's not about their looks, it's
Mhm.
about their music. If they think their looks are going to get them played on the radio, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy saying this going, whoa, time out. Don't do that. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
it
Have a
can be
little bit of
distracting
class.
in a
Have a little
really bad way.
Have a little bit of class.
Yeah.
The way I look at it. And that's what I told the label. And they, you know what? they weren't upset at me at all. They said, thank you. We need to have feedback and we will pass it along. But it should have never have gotten to that because
Right.
before most artists go out on a radio tour, they've been through a briefing with their label or whoever for, how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to act and all that. So,
Yeah. I'd say that's my advice. What would be your advice? Do you have any?
Oh, it was that pretty much.
That was it.
Yeah.
Performance and what you wear is important.
it's not what you wear. Stop. Oh man, you guys are awesome. Now I lost my train of thought. But let's see. No, so that's Kelly in the blue and Sarah and okay. Yeah, okay, I got it. I've been going through this whole time. But it's very cool that you guys are twins and you live together and you love each other the way you do and you're performing together and you both have that equal amount of passion from what I can see. And I can only imagine. Well, maybe I can't imagine. You tell me, what's it like for you guys on stage? What are you all over the place? Do you get into it? Do you jump up on the speakers? Do you climb the scaffolding? I don't know. Tell me a little bit about your stage performance.
We really just like to have fun and play off
Yeah.
of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on where we are going to perform. Like if it's like for a festival for only 2 hours, then that allows us to create more of a show to watch.
Mhm.
If it's Broadway, we want
to play what the audience wants to hear.
we want to play what the audience wants to hear, and we will show the lyrics of the song on our faces, and we just like to I don't know, we like to look at each other and acknowledge each other. But it would just be different if it were a 2-hour show, because then we're able to focus on each song and say, okay, I'm gonna go and do this during this part. You should do that during that part. We could do this kind of thing at the same time. And a lot of times that will make its way into Broadway shows as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how we have to actually plan some of those things that look spontaneous. We did a lot of reading and research on how to perform. So like live music is it's a whole thing that I think that if you're going to be a live music musician, you should probably read more about how to perform on stage, because that's one thing that we really didn't get taught much when we were in college.
No, I don't think there's any. Do they have people that do that?
I know that there's like live music producers, and they can help you create a show that's pleasing to the eye, because most of concerts are through your eyes. Like that's 70% of a concert.
100%. I say it's 100%. You're right.
Yeah, right. So we have to be interesting to watch. So we learned that there's different spots on the stage and there's different levels. Like you can bend down, you can stand up, you can
there's certain times in the
lean.
songs or which songs you should
Right.
do certain things.
You can even use your mic stand. There's just and your guitar.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So many different things you can do. And we like
You,
to
go ahead. Do you watch any particular female artist on stage? Do you go to YouTube and go, let's see what I'm only using this as an example. Let's see what Miranda's doing.
Yes. We've
Yeah.
done so much of research. We've gone on YouTube. We've actually gone to concerts just to do research. We've gone to see Carrie Underwood and how she would do things on stage and learned so much from her.
Yeah.
Her band was even involved. It wasn't just her doing all the work. It was the band backing her up that was getting engaged and moving around on the stage as well. We also studied Bon Jovi, a lot of Bon Jovi on YouTube. He's just mind-blowing, and he has so many cool ideas that we are able to
spark ideas
from.
Have you seen Bon Jovi there in Nashville? Because I know he was there for a period of time.
He was in town, but I did not see him.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
I know they did. I heard all about it. I was kind of jealous.
What about, if I may ask, and you don't have to answer this, what about relationships? You're young, you're beautiful, you're twins, but you're trying to live your life too by, through your music and with your music. Do you have time to?
It's definitely hard to juggle.
Well, especially when we were doing our daytime job and our music job, we focused only on the music and the business and how to build it. Because if we had any distractions, we weren't going to be 100% in growing our business.
We were just starting the business, so we needed all hands on deck.
I love your thinking.
And well, the good
And
news
yeah,
is
it took 2 years of loneliness, but
Yeah,
But
but
no, it's loneliness, but is it really? You're doing
no, it
something you
was.
love and you know what you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
yes,
So you got to,
we
it's
love it.
priorities.
Yes,
Right,
and it was a
yeah.
lot of saying
For
no
you.
to fellers,
Of
but
course. But we were able to enjoy our time on stage with our friends and
Yeah.
everything.
Absolutely.
But
But
thankfully, in 2024, we were able to migrate to more of a social life.
yeah,
Woo!
because we were able to quit our other jobs, and now we
Yeah.
have a little bit more time to
Good.
maybe find somebody.
And we're still like powering forward with our music career, but we can welcome dating into
Yes.
the life.
While also keeping an eye on not getting distracted. Like we definitely have each other to make sure we are keeping ourselves on track.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah, that's good.
yeah. So I kind of have an interest right now. We've been seeing each other for like what 6, 7 months now. We haven't gotten bored of each other.
Your sister.
I know. She's like, I don't care.
I don't know.
But Kelly, she's what, a single Pringle?
Well, I guess.
She's been, you know,
I mean, there's
she's gone on a couple
options,
dates.
but nothing that is stealing my heart yet.
Well, yeah. And I
Kelly,
mean,
what do you think of her?
Well, I think it's because of me that she has him. Because
she's on board.
I am very much
Okay.
on board. We're like besties, so
Yeah. And I guess like if
I got you.
you weren't on board, then I wouldn't still be interested. Because that's kind of what happened with you. A few folks that she's gone on dates with, I've just not been 100% with. So that's why she's not with them
No,
anymore.
that's a great relationship, though. You know each other so well, so
Mhm.
well. And if one will see something that's just not right, you're
Exactly.
going to say something. So
Yeah.
good for you. No, I won't go any deeper with that. That's, I just really see, I hope people, when they listen to this and they watch this, and somebody that wants to do what you're doing listens to what you're saying and how you have to set your priorities.
Yeah.
You should be proud of that. I know you are. And absolutely. That's pretty awesome.
A lot of discipline. That's
Yeah.
what it takes.
Yeah. Very cool. If you could play anywhere in the world, well, I already asked you that, didn't I? So, but the collaboration though, if you could play with anybody.
That's a good question. I would have to say Reba McEntire because her songwriting is incredible. Her musicality that she has backing her up is just so interesting. And her performing is out of the box, and her voice is just, I just really respect everything about Reba McEntire and what she does on stage and off stage.
I'm so glad you said that because Reba is what got me into country.
No,
And I named my very first yellow lab. We have yellow labs. Reba.
I love it.
Well, I don't know if Reba loved it because the first time I met Reba, backstage at the New York State Fair, I know many, 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 many years ago. And I was like so starstruck because that was the one person, and I said, I named my dog after you. And then I thought, don't open the door. I'll go under it when I leave. So but she goes, oh, that's so sweet. She's got that. And
Yeah.
I've been in love with Reba since day one. It's why I'm doing country. I saw Reba at the country radio seminar a couple of years ago, and it was she was phenomenal. Phenomenal. So,
I can imagine.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kel?
I would have to say probably Ian Munzik.
He's up and coming.
Oh, yes. No. I spent a weekend in Boston watching him, and we went to Fenway and stuff. It was I went with his label, and we hung out. And Ian is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know he has like a great personality. I have a friend who
Awesome.
worked with him a little bit, and his performing is just insane. And he's also putting different sounds in his music, and he just makes it so unique. I don't know. I would just love to learn from him. I feel like I would learn from him just by performing with him.
Yeah, because it's like his charisma that he has on stage is just something else.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of your music, they can go on. What is the website again?
It is kellysarahmusic.com.
Kelly Sarah or Kelly and Sarah?
Kelly Sarah.
Gotcha. Music.com. And you're on all the socials. So if somebody was to Google you, they would definitely find you. Well, Whiskey is out there. The song rocks, in case you missed it. Oh, wait a minute. Sounds.
Well, whiskey got me up and down and stumbling around.
Sound like it right from the very beginning.
Me too.
You can call me cheap.
And they said it wasn't going to work. What the hell were
Yeah.
they thinking? That's crazy. That's crazy. But hey, thank you. Thank you for coming on tonight with Skip Happens. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
You can tell Grassroots, hey, Skip is cool. You know,
Yeah.
I'm saying. But maybe I'll see you out and about in Nashville in a couple of weeks. Maybe I'll take a walk down on the Broadway. I'll find out where you're playing or whatever, and we'll figure it out. I just love to say hello and thank you in person for coming on Skip Happens. You ladies have something to look forward to. You're going to be stars. You're already halfway there. And you got your priorities in order. Everything's just falling into place for you. So, and you got each other to fall back on too.
Lean on me.
Yep, you know me. Each of you have a shoulder. Oh, speaking of lean, I know. So real quick before we say goodbye, is there a song that really gets you going? Is there any song from anybody that'll get you going?
I would probably say Brooks and Dunn, Biscuit and Boogie.
Oh yeah. You just can't
Because
help
you dance, do you line dance to that?
Yeah.
We do.
I get it.
Yeah. It's just a good song.
And Brooks and Dunn, they're a duo.
Yeah.
They have great harmonies.
Yeah.
They're so talented.
Yeah. And they're back out touring.
Yeah.
How cool is that? I just want to see them one more time before they do call it quits. And Rascal Flatts, they're back together and they're out. And their new single, I Dare You, is with the Jonas Brothers.
I'm gonna have to write that down. I gotta look that up.
That'll be our new jam.
Yeah.
No, and it just got sent to radio here recently. It's called I Dare You, and it's Rascal Flatts featuring the Jonas Brothers.
That is so cool.
All right, I wrote it down.
I love that. All these collaborations, it gets crazy. Kelly, Sarah, thank you. Thank you for being on Skip Happens.
Thank you for letting us come.
Please, you're welcome anytime. And it goes back to the people that are helping you out, our friends at Grassroots, that, they reached out and said, I got Sarah and Kelly. Do you want to talk to them? Oh, wait a minute. It's Kelly and Sarah. But I said, absolutely. Let's do it. Because I love finding out about the new artist or even the independent artist. I know you've been doing it for a little bit, but it's so very cool. So very cool. And you're trying to live your dream.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for coming on Skip Happens. Stay right there. Everybody, please, if you can subscribe, right? We're live on YouTube. We're live on my Facebook. But if you can subscribe on YouTube, that'd be greatly appreciated. And make sure you check out kellysarahmusic.com. Correct? Okay. And then get everything Kelly Sarah. So that's all right, ladies. Thank you for joining me tonight. Stay right there. And good night, everybody. Thanks for having us on.